Hello, and welcome to Live Parkinson's, Live an Exceptional Life. I'm your host, Chris Kustenbotter, and I've been living an exceptional life with Parkinson's for the past 14 years. The mission of this podcast is to help as many people living with Parkinson's as possible lead a great quality of life. Now, today's topic is Parkinson's and weight, tips for a healthier you. Imagine stepping on the scale and being startled by the number staring back at you. Are you in the group of almost 50% of Parkinson's patients who experience weight loss? Or, like me, notice the number is significantly higher than it used to be and are part of the 10 to 20% of people who gain weight with Parkinson's? Are you having trouble with weight management with Parkinson's? Then you're in the right place, because in this episode, we explore the connection between Parkinson's and weight management and provide actionable tips and strategies for managing your weight with Parkinson's for a healthier you. So if that number on the scale is starting to have a negative effect on you, don't let it weigh you down. No pun intended. And join us in this episode on the journey of weight management and Parkinson's. Before we dive right in, I wanted to provide a roadmap of what we'll be covering so that you don't think I'm rambling and you can keep me focused. We'll start it off with understanding the connection between Parkinson's and weight management. We'll explore the relationship between metabolism and Parkinson's, and then examine the effects of Parkinson's medications on weight gain, and then look at weight loss and Parkinson's symptoms and their potential relationships. Then we'll transition to examining some of the most common weight management challenges people living with Parkinson's face, and then provide you with some practical tips and strategies to help you overcome these challenges. Then we'll explore the role of nutrition and weight management with Parkinson's. Then move on to everyone's favorite discussion, the role of exercise on weight management and the benefits it can provide. And then finally, we'll discuss seeking professional help, when to consult your healthcare provider, and what support groups and resources are available to help you with weight management with Parkinson's. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a problem I've dealt with my whole life. While there have been a few times in my life where I've lost weight, the majority of my life has been spent with the battle of the bulge. Gradual weight gain that leads to carrying a lot of weight and having a detrimental impact on my quality of life, both physically and mentally. Now, I've been living on the weight management roller coaster and can't get off. Ever since COVID, I put on about 20 to 25 pounds that I've been struggling to lose. I lose 5 to 8 pounds, then I turn around and gain 5 to 8 pounds. So in the past 4 or 5 years, I've been carrying this excess weight, and I've been feeling frustrated and confused about why I'm struggling to lose the weight. Then I had an epiphany and decided to look at how Parkinson's may affect weight. I wanted to look at the research and see if there's a relationship between weight management and Parkinson's. I had questions I wanted to answer, and these were, is there a relationship between Parkinson's and weight? If so, what is the connection? Do Parkinson's medications have an effect on weight gain or weight loss, and why? What's the role of nutrition and exercise in managing weight management and balance with Parkinson's? And what resources are available to help me lose weight and live a happier, healthier life? So in this episode, I wanted to share the results of my research on weight management and Parkinson's and answer the 4 questions I just shared with you. Now, I'm sure, unlike many of you who have struggled with weight, my hope is to share the information and provide actionable tips and strategies to help you successfully manage your weight. Now, let's start with looking at the connection between Parkinson's and metabolism. Does Parkinson's affect our metabolism and cause us to lose or gain weight? Parkinson's may alter our basal metabolic rate, or BMR, and that's going to affect how efficiently our bodies burn calories at rest. So when you're sitting in a chair, how effectively are you burning calories? Or when you're sleeping, how effectively are you burning calories? So what is basal metabolic rate exactly? The basal metabolic rate refers to the minimum amount of energy, or calories, required by your body to maintain essential functions while at rest. And they would include processes like breathing, circulation, and cell maintenance. So how many calories do you need if you're just sitting at rest in order to maintain those processes, breathing, having your blood circulate, and having your cells being maintained throughout your body? Now, here's how Parkinson's can affect our BMI, and I'll try to put this in layman's terms. It begins with basal ganglia dysfunction. You're probably thinking, Chris, that doesn't sound like layman's terms. But the basal ganglia is part of the brain, and in Parkinson's, there's a dysfunction in the basal ganglia because of the dopamine-producing neurons in the substantia nigra. Now, for those of you living with Parkinson's, you may have heard of the substantia nigra, and what happens there is that begins to die off, and the substantia nigra produces dopamine, which is essential for the basal ganglia to function. Now, what does the basal ganglia do? Well, it's involved in motor control, which, with Parkinson's we have difficulty with, learning, and decision making. So as PD progresses, dopaminergic neurons, or brain cells, degenerate, which leads to severe dopamine deficiency, which relates to reduced dopamine effects and motor control. In terms of metabolic changes which can occur that are affected as part of the metabolism, now in some people with PD, they experience hypermetabolism, and that's where the brain regions, the thalamus and cerebellum, show increased metabolic activity, which can be involved in weight loss, and hypometabolism, and this occurs when the areas of the brain exhibit decreased metabolic activity, which can lead to weight gain. Individual variability is a key piece. PD affects individuals differently. So BMR, or basal metabolic rate alterations, can vary by proper nutrition, hydration, and depending on what type of personalized advice you get from your healthcare professional. They're all crucial for managing your weight and your metabolism in PD. All right, now that we have a little understanding of how Parkinson's affects our metabolism, let's transition into looking at weight gain and Parkinson's medications. Now, according to the Parkinson's Foundation, in their article, Weight Management, they state that sometimes weight gain is a side effect of PD therapies. So let's take a look at which PD medications may lead to weight gain. And let's start it off with dopamine agonists. According to the Parkinson's Foundation Weight Management article, dopamine agonists are medications occasionally given alone or in combination with formulations of levodopa to manage PD motor symptoms. Dopamine agonists have been linked to compulsive behaviors, including binge eating, which leads to weight gain. According to the Parkinson's Foundation, commonly prescribed dopamine agonists include Maripex, Requip, and Neuropro patch. And according to the Weight Management article, under the supervision of a doctor, adjusting medications can help stop a person's compulsive eating. I happen to take a dopamine agonist, and I'm near the top dosage for that. And so I just wanted to share a personal example of how a dopamine agonist may play a role in weight gain. I was recently at seeing my movement disorder specialist, and I mentioned that I'm struggling with weight loss, that I feel like I've gained this weight since COVID, and I've had trouble getting the weight off. And I was wondering if it was partly due to the dopamine agonist. And so I said I typically eat a lot of times when I'm not hungry. I'll eat early in the morning. I'll eat in a snack at night sometimes when I'm not hungry, or I'll eat in the afternoon. So I wanted to share a story with you just to kind of give you a flavor for what I mean by eating when I'm not hungry or just mindless eating. I mentioned before on several other podcasts that I'm typically up very early because I have sleeping issues because of Parkinson's. So I'm usually up at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I have a little coffee pot that, it's a 5-cup coffee pot that I prepare the night before with decaf coffee. So when I get up at 3 a.m., I flip the coffee maker on, and this is the time that I spend doing research for the podcast, writing articles for the liveparkinsons.com website, trying to create some free resources to help everyone live a great quality of life, working on the discussion board, making some Pinterest pins, all those type of things I usually do in the early morning. And a lot of times what happens is when I'm up at 3, it gets to be 4:15 and I have a cup of coffee and I say to myself, wow, I could really go for a bowl of cereal or maybe some fruit and yogurt. And then I think to myself, no, Chris, you don't need those. Just, wait till everybody gets up and then get down and eat breakfast. But I keep getting this thought in my head that, I could really go for a bowl of cereal. So I think to myself, okay, I sneak back down the steps that I came up about an hour and 15 minutes before after I got out of bed, tippy-toed around so I didn't wake up my wife or my 2 boxer dogs. And I sneak back down as quietly as possible because I don't want to wake up my wife and the dogs. And I tippy-toe over, I grab a bowl, a spoon, slowly open the refrigerator so it doesn't make too much noise, get the milk, and I grab a box of cereal, and I saunter quietly back up the steps, just like the Grinch, leaving Whoville with all the presents and the Grinch who stole Christmas. And then I get upstairs and I eat a bowl of cereal or two. Now, was I that hungry that I needed to sneak downstairs for the cereal and risk waking my wife and dogs up? No, but for some reason I felt I needed to get that bowl of cereal. Now, that's a type of compulsive behavior. Now, whether it's a problem that I have due to the dopamine agonist is yet to be determined, but my guess is that the dopamine agonist is playing a role because I don't remember needing to do this before I started taking the medication. Now, I also aimlessly eat sometimes in the afternoon or in the evening. Now, is it boredom or the dopamine agonist? All I know is that it's not helpful for me in managing my weight, and I'm sure it was a contributing factor to my 20 to 25 pound weight gain during COVID that I'm still struggling to lose. The Parkinson's Foundation article notes that under supervision of a doctor, adjusting medication can stop a person's compulsive eating. Without medication adjustment, this is unlikely to improve despite the best intentions of the person with PD. Now, there are some considerations that you have to take into place. If you're doing really well with the current level of dopamine agonist, do you make adjustments and potentially affect your motor and non-motor symptoms? So it's something that you have to work out with your doctor. So it's important to keep that in mind. So the moral of the story is, if you feel like you can't control your eating and you're taking a dopamine agonist, talk to your doctor and they can help you by adjusting your medication. All right, let's look at some medications commonly used to treat depression and anxiety in PD patients. It's noted that up to 50% of people with PD experience depression at some point in the course of their illness. In the study Management of Psychiatric Disorders and Parkinson's Disease, published in Neurotherapeutics, Movement Disorder Therapeutics, the researchers stated that the frequency of major depression is 5 to 20%, and with minor depression occurring in 10 to 30% of patients. They note in this study that 20 to 25% of PD patients are on an antidepressant at any given time and are most commonly prescribed selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So that's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs. Commonly prescribed SSRIs for depression, according to the article, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors by the Davis-Finney Foundation include Lexapro, Celexa, Prozac, Paxil, and Zoloft. The article notes that these are the most commonly prescribed SSRIs because of their tolerability, and they can be used to treat anxiety and obsessive-compulsive disorders as well. They often take 4 to 6 weeks to reach their full therapeutic effect. So how common is weight gain with SSRIs? Well, according to the article, Why SSRIs Cause Weight Gain and What to Do About Weight Gain Caused by SSRIs, published by verywellmind.com, they noted that in a study of 294,719 people on SSRIs, so almost 300,000 people, 11.2% of the people prescribed the antidepressants had a body weight increase of 5% or higher the first year. Additionally, their weight gain stayed elevated for more than 6 years. Their article also noted that antidepressants are associated with weight gain, but the risk of gaining weight is higher with some SSRIs more so than others. Research suggests that Paxil is linked to greater weight gain than Zoloft or Prozac, and that Lexapro doesn't significantly affect weight. So if you're concerned about weight gain with SSRIs, the article notes that 3 ways to help prevent or manage weight gain are through 1, mindful eating, keeping track of what you're eating and writing it down. 2, increased physical activity or exercise. And then number 3 is talking to your doctor to see if maybe it's beneficial to switch to another type of SSRI for your Parkinson's medications. All right, let's switch gears now and talk about weight loss. Because we talked about weight gain, let's look at weight loss and how it's going to affect our Parkinson's symptoms. Weight loss can significantly impact your Parkinson's symptoms management. Here's some of the impacts weight loss can have on someone living with Parkinson's. It causes reduced energy levels. Weight loss often leads to decreased energy, making it harder to manage daily activities and participate in exercise. So think about it. If you're not getting enough nutrition and proper nutrition, you're not getting your fruits and vegetables, and you're not getting the nutrients that you need, and it's not going to give you the energy you need to participate in your daily activities and other things that you enjoy. Now, weight loss can also exacerbate motor symptoms, which can be due to insufficient nutrition, which can worsen motor symptoms like your tremor, stiffness, and slowness. So a lot of times if people decide I can't eat because it takes me too long to chew, I'm shaking too much, I can't eat, and I'm not getting the proper nutrition, it can really have a detrimental impact on your motor symptoms. And then weight loss can lead to increased risk of falls because it contributes to muscle weakness and decreased balance. So if you're not getting your proper nutrition, your potential for a fall and to cause some devastating injuries is a lot greater. So it's important that you get the proper nutrition and manage the weight loss so that you don't fall and end up in a nursing home. And then malnutrition can lead to impaired cognitive function, which can directly affect your cognitive abilities, including your memory, your attention, and decision-making processes. And then finally, weight loss and a lack of proper nutrition can compromise your immune system, making individuals with Parkinson's more susceptible to infections. All right, let me share a story on how weight loss had a profound impact on a person living with Parkinson's. James was diagnosed with Parkinson's in his early 60s. He lived his life, and he was determined not to let tremors and stiffness affect his life. Several years after James' diagnosis, he noticed his clothes were looser, he was more tired than usual, and he just didn't have the energy to participate in some of the activities that he enjoyed. He also noted that his tremor had been more prominent and bothersome than it was before. James' wife, Ellen, noticed that he was losing weight and told him he wasn't eating enough, and she was getting concerned. James told Ellen that it wasn't that he doesn't want to eat, but it was just so difficult. He told her his tremors made it difficult to hold the utensils, and chewing became such a chore he would often not finish his meal because he was frustrated. Because he was not eating very much, James continued to lose weight, and his motor symptoms got worse. Not only were his tremors more noticeable and bothersome, his balance was more unstable, and he also struggled with brushing his teeth and getting dressed. Buttoning his shirt was out of the question. He needed Ellen's help. One day, James fell while walking across the living room. Ellen had seen enough. She took James to their movement disorder specialist, who confirmed James was malnourished and it was making his symptoms worse. The doctor developed a treatment plan for James that included seeing a nutritionist who developed an eating plan that met James's specific needs. Ellen began preparing softer foods for James that were easier to chew. They also purchased a set of adaptive, weighted utensils that made it easier for James to eat. And they also changed their eating schedule to include small, regular meals more often throughout the day than eating just 3 big meals per day. James slowly gained the weight back he had lost. He had more energy to participate in the activities he enjoyed, and his symptoms were less noticeable although they didn't completely disappear. James still had some bad days, just like we all do, but he also had a strategy for overcoming his issues. Unfortunately, James's story happens quite often. So it's important that if you or someone you know with Parkinson's is losing weight, that they see their doctor to help them prevent getting to where James was and fall and become malnourished. The doctor can help devise a treatment plan specific for your needs. All right, let's turn our attention now to some of the common weight management challenges people with Parkinson's face on a daily basis. I'll start with the challenges and then provide you some practical tips and strategies to overcome these challenges. The first challenge is appetite changes. Fluctuations in appetite can make it difficult to maintain a consistent calorie intake. One day you may feel like eating, and another day you don't have an appetite and aren't interested in eating. And that could occur at different times throughout the day as well. It doesn't have to be from one day to the next. Difficulty swallowing. Swallowing problems can make it more challenging to eat And since you have trouble swallowing, it takes longer to eat, which causes some people with Parkinson's to give up in frustration. Number 3 is medication side effects. Some medications can cause nausea or changes in your appetite, weight, or metabolism. So a lot of people take antibiotics and they always tell you to take most of them with food because some of them, like for instance, doxycycline, which they give a lot for Lyme's disease, can really be harsh on your stomach. So they tell you to make sure that you eat beforehand. So certain medications can cause nausea, which again is going to affect your appetite. So it's important to keep track of those as well and tell your doctor if you're having any side effects. Motor symptoms like tremors, rigidity, and slowness can make it more difficult to prepare and eat your meals. Fatigue. Feeling tired all the time can reduce your motivation for meal planning and cooking. And a lot of times we are fatigued because we're not getting proper sleep at night and we don't have the energy during the day. And especially if we're losing weight, we have less energy, which is going to cause more fatigue. So it's important that we make sure that we're getting the proper nutrition that we need. Depression and anxiety can lead to changes in eating habits as well. In my case, it causes me to eat more. So when I get anxious, I eat more while other people may eat less. So it all depends on the person. It's variable from person to person. And then finally, limited mobility. Reduced mobility can make it difficult to access healthy food options and engage in exercise or physical activity. All right, so those are the common challenges that we face. But I happen to like to look at the positive side of life. So let's give you some practical tips for overcoming these challenges. Leading off with lack of appetite. Make your food more flavorful by adding herbs, spices, or a squeeze of lemon to help stimulate your taste buds. Now, me personally, I like to cook with garlic, basil, oregano, thyme, paprika, garlic salt, and other seasonings like Mrs. Dash's garlic and herb or other varieties. So don't be afraid to use herbs and spices to really make your food more flavorful so that you really want to eat it. And then eat smaller and more frequent meals. So if eating 3 large meals seems daunting, you're looking at your plate and you're saying, I can't eat that much, then break it down into smaller meals. So instead of eating 3 large meals per day, maybe you eat 6 smaller regular meals to help you overcome that problem. And then also it's going to not frustrate you as much because it's not going to take you as long to eat. And then focus on nutrient-dense foods. Focus on foods that are high in calories and nutrients to maximize your food intake. And that can help you prevent weight loss. All right, now moving on to the second one is managing difficulty swallowing. Start by eating softer foods. Opt for softer foods like mashed potatoes, yogurt, and cooked vegetables. They're easier to eat and also give you the nutrients that you need. And then thicken your liquids. Thicken your liquids by using a thickener to make liquids easier to swallow. So think about drinking a nice milkshake. It tends to be a little bit thicker and it tends to be easier to swallow. Then sometimes we all choke if we're trying to drink water or some other liquid too fast. And then you want to take small bites and chew your food thoroughly to help you swallow. Small bites allow you to make sure that you're getting the food into manageable pieces so that it makes it easier to swallow. And then finally, consider seeing a speech language therapist or a pathologist, and they can give you some swallowing exercises, which you can work on to help you when you're eating and to help you swallow. Medication side effects. Talk to your doctor about potential medication adjustments or alternative meds. So if one med is causing side effects, maybe they want to put you on something else. So make sure you talk to your doctor about that. Coordinate your meal times with your medication schedules to help minimize some of the side effects. So if something causes nausea, make sure that you take it with food. And then make dietary changes based on medication-related or side effects. So for example, if a medication causes constipation, eat more fiber-rich foods. And that's going to help you overcome your constipation. And then motor symptoms. Use adaptive utensils with larger handles and built-in stabilizers. Now, some examples would include Good Grips weighted utensils, Keetlery weighted utensils, Steady Spoons, MaxiAid bendable and weighted utensils, and they're going to help you while you're eating. So check those out, and there are options that are available. You can get those on the internet as well. And then get help from your family and friends in preparing, serving, and eating your meals. Practice relaxation techniques before meals to help you reduce your tremors, because typically most of us, the more stressed you are, the more anxious you are, the worse your tremors are. Now, fatigue. This is one of my arch nemesis. So, how do you combat it? Well, you may or may not like to hear this, but yes, my friends, regular exercise. Engage in moderate intensity exercise to help boost your energy levels. And then you want to make sleep a priority. Adequate sleep, which to me as a stranger, is going to help you combat fatigue as well. And then eat energy-dense snacks. Choose ones that are high in calories and nutrients for a quick energy boost. Now, I don't recommend the energy drinks and the energy shots. Many of them are just loaded with caffeine and sugar. So my recommendation would be to stay away from those. And then in terms of addressing anxiety and depression, first off, if you feel anxious or depressed, seek out professional help with a therapist or counselor to help manage emotional challenges. Don't be afraid that you're going to be stigmatized or thought less of. I personally seen a therapist for anxiety who helped me with cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which I talk about in one of my other podcasts. And then the therapist recommended I work with a person who had overcome agoraphobia, pretty much fear of going outside or fear of doing anything, who actually overcame the agoraphobia and became a therapist as well to help people who were experiencing anxiety. So I highly recommend using a therapist and cognitive behavioral therapy, as they can both help you overcome anxiety issues. Support groups. Connect with others who have similar challenges, and they can help you overcome some of those challenges by sharing their stories as well. And then try to lead a healthy lifestyle. You want to maintain a balanced diet, regular exercise, and get adequate sleep. And not only will you look better, but you'll feel better as well. And then finally, overcoming limited mobility. Now, one thing to do is consider using meal delivery services, which are more convenient. And if you're having trouble or difficulty leaving the home, contact Meals on Wheels. Now, my brother and I would deliver Meals on Wheels, and I got to meet a number of exceptional people on our deliveries. And it was great to talk to them, and then they were always happy to see us because they couldn't get out of the house. And then you can utilize grocery store delivery services. Most grocery store chains have inline ordering and delivery of groceries right to your front door. And then finally, make kitchen modifications to improve accessibility. So you want to try to use lower cabinets to make it easy to get pots and pans. And then you want to keep things, knives and other things that you use, whisks, on a more frequent basis as close as possible, so that you don't have to continually reach and have the potential worry of falling while you're trying to cook. And then finally, remember that it's essential to talk to your doctor, and you can also talk to a registered dietitian as well to help you design a personalized weight management plan. Now, before we move into our next segment, I wanted to share with you an offer from Audible.com. Now, if you're not familiar with Audible, they are your one-stop source for audio entertainment. They offer an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre, from bestsellers to new releases, celebrity memoirs, motivation, wellness, business, and more. Audible also includes thousands of podcasts, from popular favorites to an exclusive new series. As an Audible member, you can choose one title per month to keep from their entire catalog, including bestsellers and new releases. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, cooking, or just going for a walk. New members can try Audible free for 30 days and receive their free audiobook. Now, two of the audiobooks that I personally recommend are A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Future by Michael J. Fox and The Happiness of Pursuit by Davis Finney. Now, to take advantage of the free 30-day trial and the free audiobook, visit audibletrial.com/liveparkinsons.com. That's www.audibletrial.com/liveparkinsons.com. And then I'll put a link in the podcast description. Now, for complete transparency, If you sign up for the free 30-day Audible trial and the free audiobook, Audible pays me a small commission, which I use to support this podcast. So if you decide to sign up for the free trial, thank you for supporting this podcast. All right, let's turn our attention now to the role of nutrition in weight management with Parkinson's. Now, I've done a number of podcasts on nutrition, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on nutrition here. I do want to stress that it's important to eat a well-balanced diet that includes your macronutrients, which are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and your micronutrients, which are your vitamins and minerals. Try to eat a healthy diet, which includes lots of fruits and vegetables in different colors, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. This type of diet will give you the essential nutrients and antioxidants you need to stay healthy and active. Now, speaking of active, let's turn our attention to your favorite and mine, exercise. Okay, you can call it physical activity if you'd like. Yes, exercise is one of the keys to weight management with Parkinson's. Okay, so why exercise, Chris? What benefits does exercise provide in terms of weight management? I'm going to be honest with you, I exercise a lot. Yes, I usually do exercise 7 days a week, even when I'm on vacation. And one of the main reasons I exercise so much is it helps me keep my weight somewhat in control, and it helps with my motor symptoms. Now, I say somewhat in control because I still need to focus on my mindless eating, so that's something I need to take into consideration as well. Now, I try to do a variety of different exercises so that I don't get bored. My body doesn't get used to a certain type of exercise and burn less calories. And it helps me with my cardio fitness, my strength, flexibility, and my balance. Now, some of the additional benefits of exercise include calorie burning. Of course, that's most of the reason people exercise is to burn calories that can help you manage your weight. Muscle building. Strength training builds muscle mass, which boosts your metabolism, leading to burning more calories while you're at rest. Appetite control. Exercise can help you regulate your appetite hormones and reduce your cravings. Now, additional benefits include increased energy, better sleep, and reduced risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Now, it's important to pick activities you enjoy and stick with. Remember, consistency is the key. Now, some good options for exercising for weight management with Parkinson's include walking, swimming, yoga, and Tai Chi, which are all good options for people with Parkinson's. All right, let's close out this episode talking about seeking professional help. Now, when should you consult your medical professional about your weight? It's important to let your doctor know if you experience any significant or unexplained changes in either in weight gain or weight loss. If your weight gain or weight loss is accompanied by other symptoms like fatigue, difficulty swallowing, or changes in appetite, you need to let your doctor know. Your Parkinson's symptoms are worsening, or your medications seem to be less effective, or you're concerned with your overall health. Now, it's important to remember that weight changes can be a symptom of Parkinson's disease or a side effect of the medication. However, they can also be a sign of an underlying health condition. Now, your doctor can help determine the cause and recommend an approach and treatment option that's right for you. All right, let's close out the episode with resources that you can use for free that are online to help with weight management. Now, the Parkinson's Foundation offers information on weight management, including causes of weight changes and PD. You can also get a referral for a consult with a nutritional counseling to learn more about nutrition. Now, the American Parkinson's Disease Association provides local resources, including support groups and exercise classes. You can find resources near you on the website. Managing weight while living with Parkinson's can undoubtedly be challenging, but it's not impossible. By understanding the unique obstacles and implementing the strategies we've discussed, you can take significant steps towards improving your overall health and well-being. Now remember, every step counts. Now here's your calls to action. Share your story. If you successfully managed your weight while living with Parkinson's, I encourage you to share your experience with our community on liveparkinsons.com and go to the discussion board page. Your insights can help to inspire other people. Consult a healthcare professional. Always seek advice from your doctor or registered dietitian to create a personalized plan that suits your specific needs. Stay motivated. Keep up to date with the latest research and information on Parkinson's and weight management. Connect with others. Join support groups or online communities with people who understand your challenges and can offer encouragement. Now, by taking these steps, you're empowering yourself to live healthier and lead a more fulfilling life. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Now, before we finally close out, please visit liveparkinsons.com and sign up for the free monthly newsletter, and which is loaded with information to help you live a great quality of life. And then also there's additional free resources on there, and then articles that I've written to help you live a great quality of life, as well as the new discussion board where you can join the community and share your thoughts with others. So please visit liveparkinsons.com and sign up for the free monthly newsletter. And I thank you for listening to this podcast, and I hope to see you on a future podcast. Thank you, and have a spectacular day.